Hey guys, so I've been telling you that I want to make this video for a little while now and I never made it. And it's how to be there or support somebody who has a chronic illness. And basically, my number one thing would be just be there for them, especially when somebody has just been diagnosed. Just being there and being a friend, being present, someone, a shoulder to cry on, someone to talk to. I remember when I was first diagnosed with MS, it was really scary for me because I didn't know what to expect and I didn't really have anybody that I could really talk to about what was going on. I still really don't. I mean, I have a couple people that I can share my feelings with. And of course, I have you guys who support me through a lot. But as far as people who necessarily understand what I'm going through, I have a couple of MS support groups that I'm a member of on Facebook, and that's definitely been helpful because we can kind of bounce ideas off of each other. And there's people who have had MS for decades in the groups who can, share their experiences and make it a little bit less scary. MS is something that is definitely scary to have to deal with if you have no idea what you are getting yourself into. But besides just being there for the person, please don't, especially for somebody who is just in the process of getting diagnosed with a chronic illness or somebody who has just been diagnosed, please don't be the person who says, I understand what you're going through, or I understand how you feel. Please don't say that. Just be there and let them know that you are supportive and that you will listen to them and that you will be there for them, whatever they need. When you say that you know how they feel, especially if you don't have a chronic illness or the chronic illness that they've been diagnosed with, it becomes kind of irritating because the person might feel like, how could you possibly understand what I'm going through because you've never had to go through this diagnosis? And especially if they have like a chronic illness that is difficult to diagnose, like MS, there's a lot of testing that you have to go through. I had to have a spinal tap, multiple MRIs, and a lot of blood work and stuff done to rule out other autoimmune disorders and things like that. So it's just kind of irritating to have somebody say, I understand how you feel or I understand what you're going through. But if you have been diagnosed with that specific disorder or disease or condition, having that knowledge and experience for yourself, then I would say it's not really an issue. But, different people experience grief and stuff like that differently. So you might not know exactly what they're going through. You only know how the experience was for you. So it's a little bit difficult to say you know exactly how they feel or you know what they're going through. I mean, I get that when you say that, it's just because you want to be supportive and you want to let them know that you're there for them to lean on and get support from. But sometimes it's a little discouraging and, like I said, frustrating and irritating when somebody tells you that, especially when you're first diagnosed. I think another tip that I would have as far as supporting someone with a chronic illness would be don't try to, look up all these alternative remedies and all that. If they want to look up those things, then by all means, go ahead and look them up with them. But unless they ask you to do that, or, at least mention that they're interested in finding like alternative therapies and home remedies and things like that, it can be a little frustrating to have somebody come and tell you, oh, well, this diet, where you change whatever about your eating habits is supposed to cure this disease. Well, first of all, if you have a disease like MS, it's incurable. It's something that I will have to deal with for the rest of my life. So when you say those things, it's disheartening, and then it kind of makes the person with MS or with chronic illness feel like they're not good enough the way that they are. And especially when someone is first being diagnosed, you struggle a lot with maintaining your identity and maintaining the person that you were, because you feel like you're losing everything about yourself. At least I did. I feel like I'm not the person I was before. I feel like I can never go back to being the person who I was. And I feel like eventually I'm just going to continue losing myself because of the way that MS progresses. So, you know, I understand that things are said with good intentions and that people do research because they want you to be healthy, especially if they care about you. But try to stay away from doing those things because, like I said, it is irritating, it's frustrating, and it makes the person feel like, well, because I have this disease or I've been diagnosed with this illness, I'm not good enough anymore, you know, because I have this condition that's affecting my body. Like I said, I understand wanting to be there and be supportive, but just be careful about the way that you approach things. If somebody in your life is just being diagnosed or has just been diagnosed with a condition, even if you don't know what to say, just let them know I'm here for you. If you need to talk, I'm here for you. If you need to cry, you can come to me and I'll be your shoulder to cry on. That means so much for someone who's just been diagnosed with an incurable illness or just any chronic illness. Just knowing that someone is there for you to be that support that you need means the world. It would have meant the world to me to have somebody be there for me when I was being diagnosed, because I didn't have anybody and I felt like nobody believed what I was going through and nobody believed what I was feeling. And so it's just really lonely and you feel like you don't matter anymore. But I think that's enough for this video because it's kind of getting a little bit longer than I wanted it to be. If you would like me to talk more about how I'm dealing with my MS and different ways to approach people who have chronic illness, because I don't just have MS, I have MS, multiple sclerosis. I have POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. And I also have depression, PTSD, and anxiety. So, you know, my depression is pretty well under control right now, as is my PTSD and anxiety. But the MS and the POTS is something that I have to carefully manage for the rest of my life. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. You can always ask me questions. I'm a very open person. I share a lot about my personal life, as you can see from the videos that I post on my channel. And I am more than happy to answer whatever questions you have or make a video about whatever topics you might want to know more about. And if I can help somebody who's just been diagnosed with MS or with any chronic illness, just know that I am here to support you. So yeah, let me know what you guys want to see next from me, and I will do my best to get it situated and recorded for you. With that being said, I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will talk to you guys again soon.